the moment was unlike any other that I experienced over this journey. Like, I thought I was going to die. I thought that this was the beginning of the end. And I didn't think there was any coming back from this. So, yeah. I think the best way of putting it was I was a loud child. There was never a time my parents can remember when I wasn't talking. I've always been high energy, volume turned up to its loudest point. My godfather, when I was born, brought a soccer ball to the hospital. And it was one of those things where I automatically gravitated to the sport. I realized that I wasn't going to be a professional soccer player somewhere. I knew my limitations. Then I always thought the next best option to playing it was talking about it.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Casino-Rama Grill Room.
It's Tommy Lasorda. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming on today.
Well, happy to be with you.
I was working 14-hour days. Like, it was insane. Like, I'd wake up, go to work, go home, go to bed.
I talk a lot, so why not broadcasting?
At that time, I didn't take care of myself at all. You know, you're a young guy, you're living in the city, you're partying, you're riding this wave of adrenaline that you feel like you're unstoppable to a certain degree. And you really don't take notice of what is actually happening to your body. And I had some people who cared about me in my life that were telling me to slow down and take care of myself and do things in different ways. And my answer was always, I don't have time to take care of myself. This seems like such a lame excuse now in retrospect, but at that time, that's how I lived. And that's what I believe to be the case. And my mother, you know what moms are like, noticed this mark on my leg. And she was immediately concerned and asked me to go get it checked out. Once again, when you're young, you think you know best. Sorry, Mom and Dad. I said, look, I've had this mark for a long time, might be changing a little bit. I'm not worried about it. I trust my body. I'm fine. End of story. What's melanoma? Like, I didn't know what melanoma was, and I immediately Googled it right away and realized that it's a form of skin cancer. The first thought that came to mind was, you can pass away from skin cancer? That was the moment. That was the moment where it hit home that I had to get myself checked out. I had to see someone. I went into the room and the doctor came in and said, well, I have some news for you. And he said, your sample came back and it's melanoma. To which, you know, my first thought is, I'm gonna die. Because the one guy that I've heard that has melanoma, he passed away. So that's the first thing that comes into my head is, oh my gosh, am I gonna die? They take a lymph node out of the closest main region to where your tumor is. So it was up kind of in my groin area. They took it out because that's what happens with melanoma. It starts on the skin, it goes into your bloodstream, and then it goes into your lymphatic system. And from your lymphatic system, it spreads to your organs and then inevitably your brain, and that's how you pass away from the disease. The phone rang and he called me and told me the news that the melanoma had returned in 2 spots. When I went through the process of it being real the first time, this made it much more real. This made it much more severe. I just didn't know. And when you question your mortality and you think about all the things that you love about your life and you think about them possibly coming to an end this way, I mean, it was deep, heavy stuff. It was deep. And my mind was going to places that I didn't know that it could actually go there. day number one, I get up to leave. I felt okay, was feeling a little bit off. But then on the car ride home, the nausea, the headaches, the bright lights like in my head just started going off. And I basically went home and slept until the next morning when I went back in to do it all over again. I didn't think my body was going to be able to handle it. It's an incredibly powerful drug. You're just killing stuff in your body. Not very many people last a whole year. Some people don't last a month. They request to be taken off the drug, or the doctors take them off the drug. That's how potent this is. After that, you come out of that situation and you're just waiting. You're waiting for something to pop up on your body, which is bad news, or nothing to pop up, and you go on with your life. In a matter of 14 or 15 months, I had 5 or 6 tumors grow back and taken off my leg. So as soon as you heal from one surgery, you're having another. And that same time, I went for another CT because of all this was happening, and it showed that the melanoma had spread to multiple spots in my groin and my hip area. Lymph nodes throughout my groin and hip, multiple spots, and deep. So deep that surgery wasn't an option. I had officially gone stage 3. And when you're diagnosed stage 3 with melanoma, it's basically not if you're going to die, it's when you're going to die. And that's when things went to another level. And that's really when I experienced my darkest moments. I still have this feeling in the back of my head that this is too good to be true. But as time goes on and nothing is kind of happening, which is a good thing, my conviction's kind of growing even stronger that I've saved my own life by doing these things. I decided that just sitting, waiting for any clinical trial wasn't enough. People started reaching out to me with advice. These were options that I didn't know that I had. Like, these weren't options that were presented to me by my doctors. At that point, I'm willing to try anything. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to beat this disease. I started seeing a naturopathic oncologist. She made immediate recommendations to pursue a vegetarian, vegan lifestyle, cut out unnecessary sugars, add various supplements into my daily intake. I started something I like to call healthy chemo. It's a IVC therapy. It's high levels of vitamin C that are administered intravenously through a drip in your arm, just like you're getting chemo, but it's high doses of vitamin C and magnesium. I saw an alternative cancer doctor who recommended me to do a drug called DCA. The problem was through this process, whether it was DCA, whether it was IVC, whether it was different things that I was doing, I would ask my oncologist at Princess Margaret what they thought about these methods. And they would completely dismiss them. And not dismiss them by saying, don't do them because they're not gonna help you, but they actually said that some of these things would hurt me. But I had to weigh the positives of taking these chances versus my traditional doctors telling me something completely different. But I knew that they wanted me on the clinical trial, so I couldn't separate the two sides. So I just decided to be my own advocate. I was gonna do requisite research and decide what was best for me. The doctor comes into the room after I had a bunch of just basic tests done before I saw him. And he comes into the room. Dr. Flaherty walks in and says, "How you doing today, Gareth?" I'm like, "Good, not bad, just ready to get this going." He's like, what have you been up to?" I said, "Oh, not much, just taking care of myself, doing my thing, just ready to get started." I was probably about 175 pounds. I'd lost 25 pounds in a matter of months, so I felt good. I felt like I was ready for it. And he turns to me and goes, "No, what have you been up to?" I'm like, "What do you mean? Do you want to hear what I did on the weekend?" Like, I didn't really get it. And then he turns around and says, "Because all of your tumors have shrunk." Went on Facebook, went on Twitter, called my family, called my friends, called everyone, and just told them this incredible news. I couldn't believe it. Like, that was the best day of my life. But the news kept on getting better. 2 months later, went back, had more scans. They'd shrunk by 50% more. 2 months later, more scans, more tests, 50% more. Next scan, they couldn't see any. They couldn't detect any active melanoma in my body. That tumor on my leg had shrunk down to nothing. It was gone. I watched a tumor on my leg, on my body, shrink down to nothing. All of this through these massive lifestyle changes, these changes that I was told not to do because they would cause more harm. My oncologist, I asked them straight up, "So what do you think happened to me?" What they tell me? Spontaneous regression. Spontaneous regression. My cancer just faded away. This one tonight at BMO Field ends in a scoreless draw. Gareth Wheeler, Terry Dunfield with you. I don't say that I'm cured of the disease. I don't think I'm cured of cancer. What I'm doing is managing the disease. It's all about cancer management, disease management. My body is doing a dance right now with the disease, and the good thing is that my body's leading that dance. And I think it's something that will continue. Like, this isn't going anywhere. The threat for myself, you out there, anyone, we're all living with the threat of developing cancer or cancer growth or spreading throughout our bodies. It's how we deal with it and what sort of conditions that we create that make the difference. People need to know that they have options in different ways, not just one way, but different ways that they can combat disease. And I wouldn't have believed that this is possible if I didn't go through it myself. But now that I've gone through it myself, how don't I tell my story?